Okay. Hey guys. Today this is our first episode and I'm Pat and he's
Matt?
and we're going to be talking about Premier League, NFL and the 76ers.
And this is the Pat and Matt podcast.
Yes.
Take it away, Pat.
Alright, so first let's talk about Arsenal. And they are playing Newcastle. And who do you think is going to win, Matt?
Well, first of all, for those folks that don't know we have a lot of basketball fans and football fans. But for those that don't know about the best sport in the world, we're talking about soccer 1st and Premier League soccer first, right, Pat?
Yep.
And what's our favorite team?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. So if you don't have a favorite team, join us with Arsenal. And like Pat said, they play Newcastle. And I'm predicting, Pat, a 2-0 victory for Arsenal. I think the key to the game is going to be that for them to play a little bit faster. The link-up play has to be faster. What do you think?
I agree, but I think Arsenal are going to win 1-0 on a last-minute corner kick goal by David Luiz. Header.
I like
Header,
that.
David Luiz.
I like how specific you are. You're not hedging your bets. I like that, Pat.
I wouldn't bet on it though.
So what's next?
So let's talk about some Premier League fantasy. So our team is in a bit of a slump right now, as we have lost 3 straight games. But we're looking up because we have a lot of good players, and we have a new striker coming in named Tammy Abraham. And let's talk about the most exciting player this year. Who's been the best this year?
Well, let's first say, even though we've lost 3 straight games, what place are we?
We are still 3rd place.
So 3 out of 8 teams. So we've had a bit of bad luck, but that's okay. And so what are we going to talk about first?
Who has been the best player this year, in your opinion?
In my opinion, that's a very good question and a very tough question. I think the best player so far for me is Harry Kane. He's a guy that Patrick and I wanted to take with our first-round draft pick, but the player in front of us, Fi, took him right before it was our turn. Remember that?
Yep.
And Harry Kane is among the Premier League leaders in both goals and assists, and in fantasy soccer, that gets you lots of points. What about you, Pat?
I think the best player this year has to be Bruno Fernandes, because I think he has 6 assists and 12 goals this year, and he was taken in the 2nd round usually, so we could have got him, but we didn't know he was going to be this good.
Well, in all fairness, we didn't know that Manchester United would also be Penchester United, and that Bruno Fernandes would get to take all the penalty kicks.
Also Barchester United.
Exactly. So I think all you Manchester United fans, you've gotten a little bit lucky, but that's just coming from 2 Arsenal fans.
And
so what else are we going to talk about?
Let's talk about the surprise of the year.
Okay.
Who do you think's been the most surprising?
For me, it's a player that we all know was good, but he's become great this year, I think. Son for Tottenham. His finishing is clinical. I mean, when he gets a chance, he scores. And that's what a lot of you young strikers have to understand out there. If you get the chance, you got to put it in the back of the net. What about you, Pat?
The most surprising player, I think, is Patrick Bamford, and because with the newly promoted Leeds United, he scored 10 goals this season and 18 appearances, and he's done pretty well.
One thing I'm always impressed with Pat is he knows his stats. So if you guys have a question about stats, this is the guy to ask. I didn't know that.
So let's talk about the most disappointing player. The most disappointing player for me is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Only 3 goals this season. Not very good. He was expected to end with at least 25, and he only has 3 midway.
And Pat, I wish I could be more profound and say something different, but we're 2 diehard Arsenal fans, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has got to step up and start scoring goals for Arsenal. We know he's got it in him because for the last 2 years, he's been among the Premier League leaders in goals. But this year, he's just got to get his confidence back and get that scoring touch back. So, Aubameyang, we're counting on you.
Okay, I think that wraps up the Premier League. So let's get into our NFL predictions for today and tomorrow. So our first game, we have Green Bay and the Rams. Who is winning, Matt?
I thought a lot about this game, Pat. And I know Green Bay's got Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's all aboard that bandwagon with the season he's had. But I'm telling you, it's the old adage, defense wins championships. And I'm going with Jalen Ramsey and the Los Angeles Rams.
You think he'll lock up Devontae Adams?
I do. I think that's going to be the key to the game.
How much do you think they win by?
I think it's not going to be as high scoring as we all think. I think they win by a touchdown, 7 points. What about you, Pat?
I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers.
Oh.
because Aaron Rodgers has had an amazing season, and Devontae Adams is arguably the best wide receiver in the league. He has 18 touchdowns this year, I think, and over 1,000 receiving yards.
More stats I didn't know, and I tell you that's going to be an interesting game to watch here in the Kelly house. You know, two picks head to head on that one.
So let's get into Buffalo versus Baltimore. Who's winning this one for you?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I have not been a Buffalo believer all year. I'm a little late to the bandwagon, but guess what, folks? I'm on it. I think it's going to be a cold weather game in Buffalo, and I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to win by 10 points.
Back to the cold weather. It's supposed to snow there tonight.
Oh.
And Lamar Jackson says he's never played in snow, so that'll be a big impact on him. But I'm going to take the Bills, and they're going to win by 14.
Oh, I like that prediction.
And Josh Allen's going to score 4 touchdowns.
Oh, I like Pat because he gives predictions, and he just doesn't sit on the fence. He gives you specific predictions. I like that, Pat.
All right, next game we're going to go. We're going to do Browns versus Chiefs. Who's winning that one?
All right, living here in Huntington, West Virginia, we know a lot of Browns fans are in the area. I'm so happy for them back in the playoffs for the first time in I don't know how many years. But Mahomes and the Chiefs are just too tough. I'm sorry. I think it's going to be a big Chiefs win by 14 points. So all you Browns fans out there, I apologize in advance. I'm just going by the numbers, I think, and I think it's going to be a Chiefs victory. What do you think?
I think I'm going to take the Browns on the last-second field goal.
Another bold prediction.
I'm going to go with Brody Talks Football. I'll leave his link in the description, and I'm going to go with him because he agrees with me.
Okay, Browns. I mean, hey, there's something to be said about teams that are hungry and the underdog, and that description fits the Browns.
And the last game of the NFL for the playoffs this weekend, it is the Buccaneers and the Saints. Who's going to win that one?
Two all-time greats at quarterbacks. I just think right now Breeze is a little sharper than Brady. Sorry, Brady fans, and I think Breeze's supporting cast is clicking on all cylinders right now. So I'm gonna go. With New Orleans, and I'm gonna say it's a 10-point victory.
10-point victory for New Orleans. I'm gonna go the Bucks.
Oh.
Because they have a really good offense. They have 2 great receivers, 2 big receivers that can catch. And Tom Brady has been really good recently. So I'm going to take the Bucks by 10.
Yeah, well, we're both saying it's going to be a 10-point game, but it's either going to, who knows which team it's going to be. But I like it, Patrick. It's going to make it, Pat, I'm sorry, it's going to make it fun to watch.
So our last topic of the day is the 76ers, and he is not a 76ers fan, but I am. He likes the Lakers. But I'm going to talk about the 76ers, and he can say some stuff about the Lakers if he wants.
Sure.
So the 76ers have been impacted by COVID. I think they only had 7 players playing in one game this year, and each player played at least 30 minutes. And on the rise up is Tyrese Maxey, their first-round draft pick, I believe their 22nd pick. He scored 39 points, and he scored 20-plus in his last 3 games. So I think the 76ers, they are going to finish 3rd in the East and in front of them are going to be the Bucks and the Nets. And right behind them, the Celtics. And
I like it, Pat.
Yeah, that's about my 76ers.
Well, I got a 76ers question for you. What do you think about their new coaching hire? Are you a Doc Rivers fan?
Doc Rivers has been very good. He is probably the best coach this year, in my opinion, because he completely changed the team. And yeah, I like him. He's just turned this team around almost.
Like Pat said, I'm an old school Laker fan. I'm back. I became a fan in the Showtime days with Magic and his supporting cast. Continue to follow him through the Shaq and Kobe days. Really don't watch as much basketball anymore, but I still think they're the team to beat with LeBron and Anthony Davis. I think any team's going to have tough going through them. But we'll see. I think it's going to be a fun and a unique season. But this is the basketball guy. This is the stat guy. So he's the one to listen to on that.
Yep.
Now, what do you think, Pat? Like, I know that wraps up our show for the day, but what are we thinking about for episode 2?
So I think for episode 2, we're going to talk about college football and college basketball, and also Marshall soccer, Marshall basketball, and Marshall football.
So I like that. We're going to have an emphasis on one of our absolute favorite teams, Marshall Athletics.
Yes.
And we both like college football too. So
we're big Notre Dame fans.
Go Go Irish.
Yep. And in basketball, we like West Virginia
Mhm.
because they're pretty good. So I think that wraps it up.
Hey, I agree. Had a fun time. Click on we need as many subscribers as we can
We
get,
need
right, Pat?
subscribers and likes.
Okay, so
So-
this is the end of episode 1 of the Pat and Matt podcast.
Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I don't know when next time will be. Probably next week on this exact same day or sooner.
That sounds
Thank
good.
you for watching. Bye.
Thanks, guys. We're signing off.
Bye.